Hi, this is Jim Palmer, and I have this 1985 Goldwing here that has quit charging the battery. It left me stranded alongside the freeway a couple weeks ago, and so today we're going to go ahead and get into it and see if we can figure out why. I suspect that stator for the alternator has been cooked. Back in first week of August, I took this thing down to Eastern Oregon, and we had some really hot riding. 9,500 degrees, great trip, did some camping, all the fun things that you do with a motorcycle. So we're going to start off by, I'll show you the voltage readings with the engine off and running. It's been a few days since the battery's on the charger, and I did have the battery fully charged at 12.7 volts, but I've got another voltmeter hooked up, and we'll show you with the voltage with it off. Wiring for the battery, kind of just set up a little cheapy. That's a new sealed battery. Picked it up, had to get it to bring the bike home. The old one had been cooked, all the water out of it. Thought at first the battery had went, but no, it's more than that. So battery is showing 12.4 volts right now. Let's go ahead and start it up. So it drops down to 11.8, 3,500 RPM. Should be coming up on the charger. Doesn't look good for the charging system. Definitely not what we should be seeing right here. Okay, so that, I believe, is the main ground for the accessories. Pretty much everything except for the starter motor. So all the lights, ignition system, accessories like horn, if you have a radio, it goes through that connector. And I don't believe that is something that is maintenance free. I think it needs to be taken apart and cleaned. If you look at the bracket that holds the regulator rectifier on, that's the only bolt that holds the dang thing on, and you can't see it. More about it later, but underneath it is a welded on bracket on the frame, and so you got the face of that thing, and I wonder just really how good of a ground we've got. So I'm going to go ahead and take that apart. Taking the bolt out, it doesn't look very bad, but it certainly doesn't look like what you'd expect in a ground. This thing is painted, so that paint, now look at here. They cleared the primer off the face of this to ground the bracket to the frame. I don't know if you can see that. So there's no paint there, but it just seems kind of silly to me that Honda would go no paint here. Let me get the flashlight. See, they would go no paint there, and certainly those threads look pretty dang corroded up. And then the face of the bracket has been painted, and then it's painted on this side, so the only ground you get is through the bolt. I don't think that's very good. Okay, so I just put the ground directly on that metal bracket, and then started it up. I didn't get to a charge voltage, so this isn't the problem why the bike's not charging, but it certainly is contributing to voltage loss. in the electrical system. The lights on this bike are a little on the dim side and stuff. So more about this later. What I'll do is clean up that metal bracket on both sides and then put this whole thing back together with wet primer. That's a standard practice in the aviation industry at Boeing. All of our grounds are assembled with wet primer, and they last 35, 40 years and really have very, very few failures. I mean, after all, they are your butt's riding in them airplanes, and they don't have electrical failures. Okay.